HPD, Houston Police Department, the Harris County Sheriff.
This is a news conference that's taking place outside the Family Law Center. The news conference taking place right now outside the Family Law Center. Let's listen in.
We received information that a man with a weapon was walking from 201 Caroline in the direction down the street towards the Family Law Center. He passed the jury assembly building, and a deputy gave chase when he spotted the man that was reported as having a weapon. He chased that man across these streets here, across San Jacinto, down Congress, and at that time, a series of deputies encountered the man, and a shootout ensued on the plaza at 11:15 Congress. At that point in time, the suspect was hit, as well as one of the deputies that worked for us. The constable was in a pay parity hearing in Austin at the time, and he is now en route to the hospital. The deputy was hit in the back, as I understand, and she was transported immediately by a patrol unit to St. Joseph's Hospital, where she was assessed, and it was decided that it was in her best interest to transport her to UT Memorial, which is where she is now. The suspect was transported by ambulance after being triaged by on-site emergency medical responders and is now at Memorial Hermann Hospital. The deputies that were engaged in the exchange, along with the deputy that was hit, are now being interviewed as is standard process.
You were listening to authorities outside the Family Law Center updating us on the officer-involved shooting that took place
today by
afternoon.
several outstanding leaders who have offered support to Constable Rosen, who has been in contact with the family and who is immediately on his way to check on the condition of the deputy and to console her family. Thank you.
Do you know how many deputies actually fired?
My understanding is that the individual was encountered by deputies at these buildings, and there was at least 4 deputies involved in the encounter. How many fired is something that will be established by the investigation.
Do you have any information update on the deputy or the suspect?
I understand that they are both stable as we speak right now.
Are they both at the same Memorial Hermann Hospital?
They will be. Immediately, the deputy was transported to St. Joseph's because it was the closest available, and she was in a patrol unit. The decision was made at St. Joseph's to transport her to UT for further treatment.
Did you guys recover a gun? I mean, he was basically walking around the courthouse complex with a gun?
My understanding was the suspect had his weapon out, and there may have been more than one weapon involved on the suspect.
Did the suspect have any pending cases or anything in civil courts?
That's what the DA's office is investigating now, using whatever identity they were able to get.
Do you have an ID on the suspect you can share with us?
I do not.
You say their conditions are stable. Is it critical but stable, serious but stable?
I have not been told they are serious. What I've been told is that they are either serious but stable, and that's what I have. I do not have the word critical as being used by either.
Any idea why they were walking down here with the weapon?
I do not know.
Can you give us a little information about the deputy, like how long she's been on the force, what her rank, what's her job here?
Yes, thank you for asking. The deputy is Deputy Sheila Jones. She's been in law enforcement for over 30 years. She was a major at the Harris County Sheriff's Department and has been with our office for 2 years and has given outstanding service working in 1019 Congress and in other buildings where she engages with elected officials, citizens, commissioners on an everyday basis.
So she's not assigned to a courthouse. She's
She is generally assigned to the county attorney's building in the lobby at 1019 Congress.
Are you able to describe the weapon that the suspect had? What the weapon the suspect had?
I know at this time is it was a handgun of some sort.
Do you have any? I've seen a video of a man being taken by police for. I assume that's a suspect. Do you have any the suspect look like, approximate age, all that stuff?
My understanding is that he is approximately 30-something African-American male of average height and average weight.
And can we hear from the DA about it?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, first and foremost, I think it's incumbent on all of us to really focus on this deputy. She has dedicated her entire adult life to protecting all of us. So that needs to be at the foremost thoughts for all of us, that she is going to pull through. Thank God we've got good information on that. I'll be headed to the hospital shortly, as I'm sure many of us will, to go offer our support there. But Maya, to answer your question, as it sits right now, it looks like we're investigating for aggravated assault of a peace officer. That's a first-degree felony, the same punishment range as a murder. So that's where it stands right now. But we've got a number of our prosecutors and investigators on the scene. We're working with HPD's homicide and SIU. And we're going to run parallel investigations so that we can ensure that we have the right charge, that we file it when it's appropriate. And once that's done, rest assured, we will prosecute this individual to the fullest extent of the law.
Did either the sheriff or the former sheriff meet the deputy personally? Anyone of you know her? If you can be possible about Major?
Yes, I know former Major Jones. She previously worked for then Sheriff Garcia. Wonderful leader, a military veteran. She's outstanding. So it's no surprise to hear she's continued her outstanding service. At this point, we're still trying to determine. Obviously, HPD will determine how many deputies may have shot, but I know at least one. She's an 8-year veteran of the Harris County Sheriff's Office. She's calm right now. She's obviously just processing everything. But we're just out here to support Constable Rosen and his outstanding team, and Chief Diaz, and appreciate also Commissioners Briones and Garcia that are out here as well. And just want to show how all these deputies working collectively made sure that they prevented any citizens and others from getting hurt out here. So we really appreciate their quick actions, putting themselves in harm's way, and obviously there's still an investigation to follow. But Sheila Jones is an outstanding public servant, and so is our deputy that we know discharged her weapon as well.
The deputy who discharged the weapon, was she like assigned for the courthouse?
We believe she worked for our court system. How she encountered all this, we're not sure. That'll be part of the investigation. But we're glad she was there and was able to neutralize the threat enough to protect Sheila and other citizens that were out here. It's a very busy place around this complex.
And Deputy Jones, did she retire from the sheriff's department?
Yes, she had retired from the sheriff's office.
No, it's simply to say, look, Sheila, as it was mentioned, worked in the county attorney's office in the reception area. The fact that she was actively engaged in this situation is of no surprise to me. Former soldier, Army strong. She was an incredible go-getter at the sheriff's office. That's why she achieved the rank of major. And so she is someone who I would always expect her to be at the point of any situation, taking care of people, protecting people, putting herself in harm's way so she can protect others. So that is of no surprise to me. She's a mother. Her son is a member of the Harris County Sheriff's Office. And so we want to keep her in our thoughts and prayers. Any condition, anytime you get shot, it is a serious injury, so we do not want to take anything for granted. Y nomás unas palabras en español, solo para decir que estamos aquí en un incidente que sucedió un poco más temprano, de un malhechor que se afrontó caminando por las calles con una pistola. Los elementos de la oficina de...
You've been listening You've been listening to authorities updating us on the situation involving that deputy-involved shooting outside of the Family Law Center in downtown Houston. That Precinct 1 deputy constable has been identified as Sheila Jones. She's been with Precinct 1 for 2 years. She is a law enforcement officer with over 30 years experience. She was a major at the Harris County Sheriff's Office prior to her employment with Precinct 1.
We also heard Sheriff Gonzalez and Commissioner Garcia talk about her years with the Army, Army veteran, Army strong. We heard Commissioner Garcia mention here a moment ago because she worked in the receiving area of the county attorney's office. So he said it, but it didn't surprise him at all that she was the one to be engaged with this active shooter who was neutralized by another deputy there at the scene. Hearing from other comments here at this briefing, there were 4 deputies in all who were involved in this shooting situation outside the Family Law Center.
Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez calling Deputy Jones a wonderful leader and an outstanding public servant. All right, we're going to go back in and listen in. They are taking more questions.
She's been a deputy for you?
For 2 years.
2 years. And prior to that, she was with you for 30 years. So, Chief, it's a homicide leading to investigation. They are comfortable with us about what that investigation would entail. What you guys are doing.
Sure, I want to echo our partners here who did an outstanding job. I want to thank the men and women in law enforcement who absolutely risk their lives every single day to do this job. No one ran away from the trouble this morning. Everybody ran towards the trouble to keep our community safe. So my hat's off. I have the pleasure of knowing Sheila as well. She's a phenomenal person who just wore a uniform. She's a great human. Please keep her in our prayers. I want to thank the men and women of the Houston Police Department who will be doing this investigation. We're going to go through the videos. We're going to go through the crime scene, standard procedure for us. We'll make sure that we have a good report to present for prosecution to the DA's office. But it's active. Everything that we have is preliminary at the moment. So I'd ask for some patience, and we'll try to get this event clear as possible so people can get home this afternoon.
Can someone speak to the fact that this happened right in the middle of our criminal justice center?
Again, this is a very busy complex. We have hundreds of thousands of people that visit not only the criminal justice complex, but just downtown Houston in general. So what the suspect had in mind, I don't know, but I'll speak to that. This is just a very busy area for us, and it takes everybody, the constable's office, the sheriff's office, everybody involved, Metro and HPD, to manage the staffing to make sure that we have enough people that we can service the area.
Can somebody talk about the logistics of the courthouse? We understand some floors were on lockdown. I mean, are we going to have our court cases going to go on as normal the rest of the day, tomorrow, that kind of thing? Do you guys know yet?
Sean?
So, court cases and what we're doing in the courthouse are continuing right now as we speak. What's important to understand is that there are almost 2 million people a year that come through these buildings having to do with the criminal justice system, whether it's civil or criminal. And each month, there are 3,000 to 5,000 pieces of contraband that are removed from the people that are coming into the buildings to try to keep it safe. And what Chief Diaz said very clearly was that the deputy that saw and heard that there was an issue ran to the threat, and the deputies that heard it ran out and encountered the threat, and that's how it was neutralized. When you're in a community that has 2 million people, visitors coming in every year, that's the level of activity you need to keep this place safe. And so I'm very thankful for the service of these deputies. And I want you to know that at 3:30 today at the hospital, Constable Rosen will be at the hospital making a statement. 3:30 today at the hospital. Thank you.
Whenever there's gunshots outside, obviously they can go anywhere. I see there's a window shot out in the jury building behind us here. Do you know of any other vehicles, property that were hit by bullets during this shootout?
My understanding is, at the moment, the tax assessor's office has a bullet hit in that building at 1001 Preston. is the other location that I'm aware of at the moment.
You say that we're pretty lucky that no bystanders, nobody driving down the street was hit with a bullet?
Absolutely. And I think also what you have to understand is I think that we're lucky that the men and women that serve these departments immediately heard the threat and immediately went towards it. And so that's what I think we ought to be focusing on today, is neutralizing the threat.
So tax assessor in a vehicle, tax assessor's office in
Tax assessor's building window.
window, and was a vehicle also sustained damage?
I don't know if a vehicle sustained damage or not.
So besides the one sheriff deputy who was fired, do you guys know who else fired? Like the members? Did she get off the shot? Other people?
Our understanding is, yes, there are constable deputies that got off shots, and they're currently investigating who all shot by interviewing. I gave that. I gave the 330.
Okay.
Chief Diaz or